Today we're going to tackle a problem that plagues many older S-classes, and that is leaking air bladders in the multi-contour seats. This is actually a pretty simple repair. Step one is to use a torque screwdriver and remove the two screws securing the seat back to the seat frame. Once this is done, you'll need to struggle a few minutes trying to lift the seat back off before realizing you don't lift it up, you actually lift it down and out. With the back panel off, we can see the modern marvel that is the modern S-Class seat. You can see all sorts of multicolored tubing. Those are the pneumatic lines running to all the different air bolsters throughout the seat. There are distributor solenoids in there, there's fans, there's the heated seat, there's the massage function. There's a lot of stuff crammed in the back of these seats. Thankfully though, it's actually pretty easy to work on. For some reason, the seat's anchored on the 4 different sides in 3 different ways. So on the left and right, we'll remove the 6 elastic straps that secure the seat onto the side. And then on the bottom, we'll lift up the 4 tabs which secure the seat back onto the bottom. And then the front is secured with plastic clips that you kind of just pop off. Quick word of warning, when removing these, the felt tears easily on the bottom, so don't use pliers, use your hands, otherwise you'll tear it. And regarding the top, it kind of helps if you use a second hand to stretch the fabric up over the top of the seat and back behind, and it gives you a bit more slack so you can pull the plastic tab off the frame. Once the seat back is completely off, you want to move the seat all the way forward and then lean it all the way back. And this is because the side bolster is actually accessed through the front of the seat between the airbag and the seat frame. At this point, you may want to disconnect the car's battery because you will be working in close proximity to the side airbag. Fishing the air bladder out from the seat is easily the worst part of the job because you can't really see anything. You have to do it all by feel. Basically, the bladder is rubber, and there's tabs on the top and bottom, and the tabs secure the bladder into a felt strip, which spans the length of the seat. So what I did was I detached the felt strip from how it connects to the frame, and this let me move the felt strip and air bladder enough to get my fingers in and remove the air bladder from the felt strip. The felt strip has 2 metal tabs on the top and bottom, and you kind of just pull these out and unhook them from the seat frame, and then in towards the middle there's 2 additional plastic Christmas trees that you have to pry out with the trim removal tool or a flathead screwdriver. Once you have this side of the felt piece detached, you can move the whole thing down and you can see where the air bladder tucks into the felt piece. And then it's pretty simple to just fold one of the tabs in and pull out the bottom of the air bladder. After that, what I found easiest was to fish the whole thing back up, tilt the seat forward again, and then working from the back of the seat, tug the whole thing up through a gap so you can see the bladder tabs on the top, fold those in and remove them from the felt strip, and then the entire bladder is free and you can remove it down through the bottom of the seat. The next thing I did was inflate and deflate the bladder through the command system and pinpoint the exact source of the leak so you know what to fix. In this case, there was about a 1 centimeter long crack right along where the bladder was heat sealed along the seam. Armed with this knowledge, the first method I tried was using an iron. You fold a sheet of paper, put it over the bladder, and then use a regular clothing iron to try to heat seal it shut again. So supposedly this worked for some people online. For me, it really did not work out well, and I wound up actually melting a small second hole in the air bladder. So overall, I give this approach 2 out of 10.
Ooh. Wow.
Plan B was to use a lot of electrical tape, and this actually worked okay. I had it in there for about an hour as I went to Walmart to purchase a more professional solution. The more professional solution, Plan C, was some Loctite vinyl repair glue, and this actually worked really, really well.
Oh, Jesus.
It is surprisingly less viscous than you'd expect, so you just wipe it on where the cut is in the bladder, and then let it cure for 2 or 3 hours. Once it had cured fully a few hours later, I tested it by inflating it a few times and making sure there were no leaks. I left the electrical tape on the second hole just because it was very small and the electrical tape seemed to be working pretty well, so I figured I'd just leave it as is.
Alright. Let's give this a try. Sweet.
As always, installation is the reverse of removal. I fished the bladder up out of the seat through the back, and then I fastened it into the felt at the top, and then pushed it back down, and then fastened the tabs into the bottom of the felt. And once the bladder was secured to the felt piece, then I hooked it back into the frame, and I pushed the little plastic Christmas trees back into their locating holes.